Good morning, Washington. How you doing, everybody? This is Dave, and it's the 15th of January, 2011. A nice sunny Sunday here in the Washington area, although a bit on the chilly side. Well, we are looking forward to the big news this week of the launch of WNEW. Now, a lot of people talk about those call letters as being classic New York call letters, and they were. WNEW for many years was on Channel 5 up in New York. They were on Channel 102.7 in New York, which was a legendary rock station. And they were also on 1130 in New York, which was a cool, big band, kind of nostalgic station. And anyhow, those calls were, over the years, taken off all those channels, moved down to Washington. Well, they actually parked on an FMer down in Jupiter, Florida, that CBS owns, and then the calls were brought back here for the launch of the all newser on the 19th of this week, which is Thursday. So anyhow, we're looking forward to that. Even though I didn't go to the apparently a big unveiling. Oh, there you go. Hi. The Newseum, over there at the Newseum, they had a big unveiling. You know, they introduced all the people. I heard from a lot of spies about what went on there. Big multimedia presentation. They introduced a lot of the people, the anchors that we have already told you about, and some others that we haven't, like Ron Insana. I didn't know that he was going to be on the station too. The guy from CNBC and all that. So anyhow, some cool stuff there. We got to look at the logos and hear some of the things. And one of the interesting things, too, is Paul Anthony. Legendary Paul Anthony in the Washington media market. Paul Anthony used to do a jazz show on a number of radio stations in the market, including, I think, the old WDCU 90.1 before they got bought by C-SPAN. I think he was on there. But he was on a whole bunch of stations. And then he also used to do a lot of fun. You used to see him on a lot of the PBS pledge drive things over there on Channel 26. Anyhow, then he went to Sirius XM. So anyhow, Paul Anthony will be doing the top of the hour. What is it they say? You know, bring us your dead, your wounded, your injured, and we will give them news. 99.1 WNEW, whatever that. I don't know what. Bring us your piles of advertising revenue, and we will deliver the news. Okay, so I don't want to put a fly in the ointment. I'm very happy for CBS and all that, but here's the deal. Okay, this is a cheap, crappy radio. Okay, a lot of people still have these cheap, crappy radios. It's a nice little radio. It's kind of designer here, kind of made to look like an old radio, but it's a piece of crap. But a lot of people use piece of crap radios, like in the clock radios by their beds or around their house and stuff like that. So if you turn this sucker on, okay, and we're going down the dial here, we're going to look for 99.1. So let's see. Okay, so there's Country MZQ at 98.7.
It's about time you joined the millions who've already turned proactive.
Okay, that's got to be big, 100.3. That's 99.5. Now we're back to MZQ. Wait, where's 99.1 there? Oh, there we are. There they are. Now, of course, they're running the history of rock and roll today, so they're... Remember that from high school. Okay. Again, it's a little...
With Best of My Love.
That's the problem. It comes in. But again, as I move the radio around, it kind of fades in and out. Oh, look. See that? There we go. Okay. It's an okay signal. Oh, look. See, if I turn the radio, I get MZQ. But anyhow. Okay, it comes in. It is receivable. But on the cheap shit radios like this, it's going to be a little problematic. It's kind of a little tiny, little narrow sliver there in between 98.7 and 99.5. But it does come in. The thing about this is, now, if WNEW was going to be the one and only all-news station in Washington, I would say, okay, maybe you can discount having a not-so-hot signal here in Fairfax County, population more than 1 million people, which is basically, I think, the core of the Washington metro area. You could maybe say, okay, it's a unique format. People are gonna seek it out. If you put HFS on 99.1 or you put El Zal on 99.1, it's a unique format. People will seek out a maybe less than super great signal. But the problem that WNEW and CBS are going to have is that they're competing with TOP 103.5, which is a killer signal. Transmitter northwest DC, and then they've got two other good signals on the west side of the metro, basically 107.7 and 103.9. So TOP, at least on that west side core, I think, of the metro there, if you want to call Fairfax County the core, I really think TOP is blanketing that area with a great signal that can come in even on a crappy old radio like that really well. That's the problem that WNEW is going to have. Okay, they're going up against this powerhouse station with a killer signal. Okay, that station that's the number one in the ratings week in, week out, huge revenue station. The whole thing. Everybody knows, you say DC radio to anybody, WTOP. Everybody's listening to WTOP. All those cars you see jamming up the Dulles Toll Road and I-66 and 270 in the morning, they're all listening to TOP, And so here we got the station going up against that. And I don't know, with a less than superior signal in part of the metro, in a good chunk of the metro, I think that's going to be a problem. I really do. And people are going to go, okay, yeah, tune it in and go, and I like the lineup, as I said, but I really think, it'll be interesting. It will be fascinating to see what kind of ratings they can get on 99.1 with that signal. Anne Arundel County signal. They're going to probably be running it in mono, so it will give a little better coverage area, but if you're trying to tune it in between 99.5 and 98.7 here on a cheap, crappy radio, it comes in. But it's like like safe cracking almost. Oh, what the hell! Some other interesting news today. On the Washington Post. Okay, this is yesterday's style section. Okay, yesterday's style section. 6 big pages, 3 articles. 3 articles in the style section. Now that's pathetic. Any day of the week. 3 articles. Last weekend, if you watched Dave TV, I bitched about the fact that the Post in their real estate section, they ran the real estate house prices by zip code for Fairfax County. It didn't include the data. Well, here they got the data. They reran it. And, of course, the little correction goes, the January 7th edition of the Market Trends Home Sales for Fairfax County contained inaccurate data because of a production error. Ooh, those production gremlins. No human being ever makes a mistake at the Post. It's a production error. On where we're printing the data, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I do agree with the Post. When the Post does something right, I stand up and say, hey, whoop-de-doo. And I agree with the Post today. Editorial here in the Sunday section, Let Slip a Curse. This is on the FCC's the whole business of the FCC getting into content regulation on broadcast television, meaning that if somebody says a bad word on a broadcast television show, how the FCC can sue fine the station. And that was the big problem that Howard Stern had, so he made a lewd or blue reference or something like that. Somebody could, file, complain to the FCC, and the FCC could then fine the station. I do agree with the Washington Post. Good comment here. Quote, viewers these days can easily flip between uncensored and often provocative content on premium subscription channels and network programming bound by government standards. The proliferation of these cable and satellite channels has irrevocably altered the TV landscape and the radio landscape, and along with Sirius XM. Critics say erase the legal and moral rationale for holding broadcast channels to a different standard. And I agree. I'm not saying that broadcasters should be allowed to, just run any old thing they want and bad. It's the market. If people don't like what they're seeing or hearing on a radio or TV station, complain. Don't watch. Tune them out. That gets more effect than complaining to the government, complaining to the FCC and having a fine. Okay? So basically, you don't like it. You think the show's, too many bad language. Don't let your kids watch it. Cancel your cable. Don't watch the station, boycott the advertisers. There's a lot you can do that has nothing to do it doesn't involve getting the FCC involved in content regulation. The FCC, in my opinion, should simply be involved in the technical side of things, licensing TV stations, licensing radio stations, prohibiting or minimizing interference, that kind of stuff, making sure that stations do some sort of local, whatever. Stuff like that, but getting out of the old thing of, oh, you said a nasty word, or what's a nasty word, and HBO can say it, but technically, if it isn't broadcast like a cable channel, which is just comes in on a satellite dish, you can say pretty much anything you want, and it seems to work okay with them. So why can't it work that way with broadcasters? So we shall see. Yeah. Tip of the old camo cap, which I don't have on right now. I don't know where it is. Bill Trumbull, final services for Bill, one of the greats in Washington radio. Bill passed away, last Tuesday? And they had his funeral at the Holy Trinity Church in Gainesville on Saturday. And we're told that Chris Core, his longtime partner there at WMAL, delivered a wonderful and moving eulogy. And he reflected on some of the truly funny moments the two had shared for 20 years on WMAL. Also at the service, we're told, former WMAL talent, including Andy Ockershausen, Len Dybert, Jim Gallant, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, plus John Lyon. Remember Ed Walker, Larry Matthews, Marge Kamaki, Karen Leggett, Johnny Holiday, one of the greats of DC area radio, Ken Beatrice, and Tony Roberts. They were all there to pay final tribute to Bill Trumbull, one of the greats. So there. Somebody sent me a picture, a couple other interesting items here. I'm going to get these up on the DCRTV Plus in a couple days, but I'll give you a quick look at them here if I can move my windows around on my computer here. Here's an interesting thing. This was September 1974, A New Direction in News and Music, Bill Trumbull and Ed Meyer. Bill was partnered with Ed Meyer there before he was partnered with Chris Core. I believe Chris came along in, 76 or so? So that's one of the two for the road. That was that original Bill Trumbull show there in the afternoons on WMAL. And also we got another one with Ed Meyer here, Take Two Along for the Road, Where All Is Said and Done. This is from January 76. I think it was later that year that Chris Core became Bill's partner. So we'll have those up on DCRTV Plus very soon, and you can peruse them. All right, folks, I think that's about it. We're almost hitting the 13-minute mark. Oh, my God. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your MLK Day. And so there.